It's Plant-Based with Nicole Podcast, and I'm your host, what? Nicole Lashay, Plant-Based Nicole Lashay. Yes, it is Sunday, August 27th. We are coming to you live with another wonderful episode. Oh, I love it when my guests are on time. Hey, Lashay. Hey, everybody, come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. You guys can go ahead and read her bio. It's a very long bio, so I'm not going to read it all. But Lashay is wonderful. I've been following her. We've been following each other for a while now. She's very inspiring, living that fruit life. She is a raw vegan. She has healed multiple ailments. Okay, you guys, we're talking about acid reflux, shortness of breath, anxiety, endometriosis, and more. Okay, with food, y'all. You can't tell me that food ain't powerful. Ha! Hey, Camellia. Hey, everybody. Lashay, go ahead and request to join, my love. How's everybody doing today? Kelly Didi, girl, where is your profile picture? I might have to remove you as a follower because I don't do the no profile pictures. It's like walking up to somebody with a mask on. Okay, I need to see your face, boo. Put that profile picture back up. All right, you guys, come on in, share the life. Camellia, hey girl, how you doing? Y'all, yesterday was so fun. I went to the Vegan Street Fair and I was able to meet Jessica in person, whom I interviewed on my season 3 finale, which is on my YouTube channel. I'm going to accept Lashay prayer that everything goes smooth with the audio and the quality of everything, because last week there was a lot of issues. So just praying for everything to be smooth today. Hey, girl.
Hello.
How are ya?
Great.
Lashay. I know we've met a few times on video, but it's nice to just be me and you.
Right? How are you doing today?
Girl, I'm exhausted. Yesterday was a day. First, I went to the Vegan Street Fair. Did you guys have the Vegan Street Fair coming to your state? Where are you at?
I'm in Massachusetts. I do believe so. They have one coming up in Rhode Island, Veg Fest, and I think they just had the one in Massachusetts. And Rhode Island's like literally like 40 minutes away from me.
Veg Fest or Vegan Street Fair? Because those are different.
See, I don't know what vegan.
Oh, okay. So the Vegan Street Fair is like one thing separate from the Veg Fest, but they're traveling like all throughout the United States. They went to like New York, LA, Atlanta. There was another state, and then they just came to the Bay Area yesterday, Oakland, California. And I live, I'm about 20 minutes from Oakland, so I went there. It was fun. It was a lot of great food. I was able to bypass the line because my girl was a vendor. But yeah, it was great. And then my husband had a gig. He's a singer, so I went to his gig, and then there was another event I went to in between that. So I am so exhausted. But anyway, how are you, girl?
I'm great. I can't complain. I'm kind of exhausted too, so I decided to do the interview from my bed. So we chilling today.
Girl, shoot. Maybe I should go get my bed. Let's be comfortable together. Nah. But anyway, I've been following you for a while, and hearing bits and pieces of your story, and I saw some of your interviews and everything. So, I definitely wanted to bring you on because my podcast is all about sharing people's stories. If they wait, I hear a lot of feedback, echo stuff. Do y'all hear that? Hello, testing 1 2. Is that Mike?
Hold on, I should put my earbuds on because maybe it'll cancel out any background noise. I live on a very busy street.
Okay. Do y'all hear all the feedback, or is it just me? Because I have on my whatchamacallits in my ears and my mic is on, so I hear a lot of stuff. But anyway, okay, so you have had I like to bring people on to share the story, whether her thing is breaking up. Whether it be weight loss or healing, I like people to come on and share the story. So she has done both. She has healed her body and she's lost a lot of weight. So I want you to come on and share your story, girl. Because, you already trending, everybody want to interview Lashay.
I know. I don't know why.
Because you got a story to tell, girl. We all about spreading that message. But, okay,
Right.
So just walk me through it. First, let's talk about how long have you been eating a vegan diet? And then how long have you been eating raw? Did you start off as raw or did you start off as vegan first, just regular cooked foods and stuff, and then transition? Or are you
I started
raw
off,
or are you high raw?
I'm high raw.
Yeah.
I'm full. Majority of what I eat is raw, but high raw at this point is, I'll allow a cassava wrap on some raw veggies type thing. But I'm not 100% raw, nor do I aspire to be.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's a good balance. I think a high raw lifestyle is a very, very good balance because you get the benefits of eating all the raw foods. But then if you want to have a cooked something, you just do that and just go on about your business,
Right. I mean, I try, but the thing is, though, is I still make an intentional effort not to eat a lot of cooked food. I do avoid it, mostly because when I eat cooked food, it's all I want to eat. I don't want to eat raw when I eat cooked. Like, it's just, so until I can find my balance, I like to keep it primarily raw.
I'm going to need to find your balance. No, I'm just playing.
I need to, I'm telling you, this is my cycle. I'm fully raw 4, 5, 6 months. I will treat myself to a cooked meal. It basically becomes crack, and then that's all I want to eat. And so
I'll trigger.
Yeah, I'll binge eat on cooked food, which is not bad if it's like a healthy cooked food. But I always end up at Chipotle or somewhere like that eventually, and then
What's
it becomes
wrong with
like
that?
it's like a month to 2 because I end up at Chipotle every day after that. Have you ever had a Chipotle wrap? They're so good. So it's just the salt is very addictive to me, and that's like that part of it. So like salt is like
it's a trigger for you. So you can't just eat a cooked meal and just go on about your business. It's gonna make you just like go crazy with it.
I can eat one cooked meal and go about my business, but it's when I get to that second cooked meal is when it's like. So
yeah,
but yeah, in general, it's all good though. So if anything, I'm starting to, like I said, find my balance. So like when I'm eating raw, I'm really consistent and I feel good. So if I eat cooked food for a week, I allow myself to do it now. It's like, so what? You're gonna go back to eating raw?
Yeah.
Like have fun. So like with every single slip, if you want to even call it that, I'm more accepting of it. I feel good before we're
not going to call it a slip. We're just going to say every time you decide you want to have a cooked meal. It ain't no slip.
Right.
It's just you decided to make a different choice that day.
Yeah, definitely. And there's nothing wrong with eating cooked food.
No.
My only thing is in the beginning, it was for the intention of healing my body.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just stay away from anything that could be semi-inflammatory. But now that I'm healing a lot more and I'm so consistent on this lifestyle, like it's a genuine lifestyle, I get up every day. I have a desire to eat nutritious food, like to be healthy. So at that point, so at that point, we still live in a matrix. If I want to go and eat with my family and they're going out somewhere and I find something plant-based on a menu and I feel good and I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But I find that on this raw vegan journey in the beginning, despite whatever your intentions are for yourself, you have to be careful about fearing food, like fearing cooked food and putting a hazard sign on it and making it this big scary thing, because it's not. That's in our mind. And I was getting to a point a while back when I was really trying to stick to raw and beating myself up when I ate cooked. I got to a point where I would eat things while feeling guilt inside. And you should never eat anything with guilt. You shouldn't even eat anything good for you with guilt. Like you have to eat with reverence. It's really important because our minds to do with food, stress, from overthinking, worrying. So it's about really solidifying that relationship with what we consume and not seeing anything as good or bad.
Right. Like yesterday, so I eat high raw. So, there's always an exception to the rule, or there's always days where it might be a little off, right, for me. So, yesterday I was gone literally all day. I went to 3 different events, and yesterday was a day that, I didn't eat the best way that makes me feel my best, but it's okay. Like I was at the vegan street fair. Dom's Vegan was there as a vendor. I bought some of her I got some of her nachos. Okay. Some vegan nachos. And then like later on at night, I went to an event that it was an oyster cook-off. Okay. They didn't have nothing there I could eat. So I ordered DoorDash. I ordered Chipotle. I got a bean bowl. It was just beans, rice, veggies, and beans, rice, and veggies basically. Right. Now, because of the nachos and the Chipotle, it was a lot of sodium in there. So it made me today I feel like heavy and bloated and stuff. And that's okay. It was just like one of those days where it was a little different, right? But today I just, went back to my norm, like ate a lot of fruit today. And I'm going to have probably an ice cream or a salad for dinner. You know what I mean? So you just go back to your norm the next day and just get back on it, So how long have you, I think we got distracted, but how long have you been eating vegan in total?
I don't want to call myself a vegan. I'm plant-based.
Plant-based, excuse me, plant-based, because I'm not a vegan either. I do it for food, health, and stuff. So
yeah, I do it for health reasons. Animals as a result of me not wanting to consume them benefit from from that.
Yeah.
But and I do have compassion for animals, but I'm not a vegan. I came in here for health reasons, but I would say that I started my health journey. I tried to start it like around 2017, but I was real back and forth, going, just trying to be plant-based and then slipping back and eating meats and whatever. But I would say 2020 was the year that the March of 2020 is when I became like fully plant-based, not consuming any animal products at all. March of 2020 is when my health journey started. So that's when I decided to give up meat completely.
Yeah.
I was mostly plant-based for about a year before that. Like 2019, I was eating a lot of vegan like products like Beyond Meats and processed vegan foods, and I've replaced meat. So I was on my way there, but every so often, probably like 2 or 3 times that year, I had some seafood. But I transitioned into it, definitely.
That was good. That's good. And transitioning is good because it'll help you stick instead of sometimes everybody can't just go cold turkey overnight or whatever. I did because I was desperate for some healing, but some people might have to transition slowly, and that's okay. That's just as good. If that's, it's like take all the time you need in order to stick to what you aspire to do. Hey, Fruit Up Bobby. What up, dog? Nah. But okay, so talk to us about so you went plant-based in 2020, and then like you were suffering from a lot of things like acid reflux and endometriosis, which is shortness of breath, body aches, all kind of things you were dealing with. So you were eating plant-based, and then you were suffering with all these things, and then is that what made you like, you know what, I need to go a step up, I need to go raw, because sometimes just eating plant-based might not do everything you need it to do. It might help some stuff, but you might have to go up a notch up. So talk to us about, that process, like after you went plant-based, and then like how you ended up eating raw mostly.
Yeah, so like going plant-based or quote unquote vegan, it doesn't equate to going healthy. And when I started off on the transition, I would say like around 2019, because that was the year I quit drinking alcohol. So to get off the alcohol, I was on lots of sweet. Thank you. I was on lots of sweet and, lots of chocolate and candies and cookies and just eating all kinds of crap for about 6 months. Then that made me feel even worse than I was already feeling. But I was like, okay, I became plant-based for to feel better in my body. Eating this kind of stuff is not making me feel better in my body. So I was aware of raw veganism. I had already done an Orville challenge like back in 2017. The lifestyle was always in the back of my mind for years. It was something I knew I was supposed to do, but it's just something I didn't push myself to do until my back was against the wall as far as my health goes. Like I literally got to a point where it felt like I was dying, and if I didn't start making serious decisions to like live a better life, like right then and there, that, you know, like my days were numbered. So I had to do what I felt like I had to do, even with lots of imperfection. In the start of that journey, there were lots of eating unhealthy things in between detoxing and in between just transitioning into the lifestyle. In hindsight, I learned that that's all a part of the process, because you're breaking yourself from a food addiction that you didn't even really know you had. You know, like you don't even really know you have a food addiction until you try to stop eating certain kinds of foods. Once you like tell yourself, well, that's okay, I can stop eating that. But then when you stop eating it, you got headaches and withdrawals, you get moody, irritable, want to fight people and everything. It's like, okay, I didn't realize my Doritos were that important to me. Yeah, I didn't realize they were a coping mechanism, you know? So that first year and that transition was a beast on transition into fully raw, but in hindsight, it was a lot of progress and not perfection, because I ended up losing a lot of weight. I ended up losing a lot of waste, and my symptoms were starting to relax. You know, it was really anxiety is what genuinely triggered me to make the decision overnight, because my anxiety was so high. I would be on the highway driving and start developing an anxiety attack while I'm on the highway. And like, I was like,
Well,
yeah,
scary.
I can't do this.
That sounds scary.
I would be super paranoid. I'd have to pull over in the highway and start Googling the nearest emergency room just so I could potentially get myself to, you know, like, so that's how bad my adrenal glands were. Like, I was shot. Like, my body was deteriorating. Right. So after doing lots of research and listening to Dr. Robert Morse and Dr. Sebi and coming across personalities like Fully Raw Christina, I knew what I had to do, and then I just did it, you know, and the results definitely speak for itself, because all of those ailments that I suffered from, for the most part, I have completely reversed, and I'm just so much healthier, and it's a godsend, literally. God put all those fruits and vegetables right here on this earth, and that's really what we should be gravitating towards.
Amen to that. Wow, that's amazing that God can allow food to allow our body to heal itself. So you healed from, like, I mean, all of them was major, but the thing that sticks out to me is endometriosis, because that's like a female thing. I haven't been diagnosed with that, but sometimes throughout my life I thought I did. I would think I had it because of the sufferness, the way I suffered with my menstrual all my life. And the only reason it's like kind of dying off now, even the plant-based diet didn't change it for me, is because I'm going through, I'm almost menopausal, so it's kind of going away a little bit. So the pain and all that is off and on getting better. But I just lost my thought. But okay, talk to me about your cycles. Like, you had endometriosis. What were your symptoms? And then what, this kind of reminds me of Earth Tatila, our conversation, hey girl, last week, because she also healed herself with diet, you know, healed her menstrual, right, to avoid a hysterectomy. So talk to me about, like, what your symptoms of endometriosis were, and then what were you eating when you went raw? Like, what was your diet like that allowed your symptoms to ease?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to clarify a couple of things. So when I first started, so okay, let me just describe the endometriosis symptoms.
Break it down.
So really, if you want to get down to it, my earliest memory of my menstrual cycle issue started basically as damn near as fast as I got a period. Um, so I want to say like around 12
Yeah.
years old, almost
Yeah.
from 12 years old, very severe cramping, really heavy bleeding, 7-day cycles, vomiting, all of that, all the way up until adulthood, every time I had my period. I would say like until about the age of 22, 23 is when those symptoms started to actually become worse. Um, the At least I would have a 7-day period. It would shut off and go away completely. Eventually, I would, even after my cycle was over, there would be a lot of spotting in between periods and sometimes like brownish discharge coming out, even if I wasn't on my period. So I always had to wear pads. There was never a moment for years that I didn't have a pad on, and it was very irritating, very uncomfortable. Um, and outside of that, as it progressed worse, I it was like I had a period every single day, literally, and definitely for like 2, 3 years, I was a faucet of blood. Um, my iron levels got so
Wow.
low. My iron levels got so low that I barely had any oxygen inside of me, which created the shortness of breath issues. I had all this mucus that had accumulated in my chest and in my throat. Um, I ended up having to have a surgery in 2017 because I had an endometrioma, which is a tumor the size of a melon. Because
My
the
God.
when you're bleeding indefinitely like that, you have endometriosis, like you're bleeding outside of the uterus wall. So it develops a tissue, and it builds and it attaches to the organs, all your reproductive areas, potentially your colon and all of that. So it developed a mass, and they had to cut that out along with my left side fallopian tube and ovary. So I had an oophorectomy.
Oh
Um,
my God.
so after the surgery, they put me on hormone therapy, which is Depo-Provera, is birth control. So the Depo-Provera completely stopped my periods, thankfully. That was like the happiest of my life, to just not be bleeding. So I was happy. I was thankful for that allopathic medicine, and I'm not one to preach, taking medications, but for my circumstances, it definitely came in handy. So I actually
You
didn't
were kind of
have a
desperate.
period.
You were kind of desperate
Yes,
because you suffered so long. It was like, okay, if that's what I got to do. Yeah.
right. So I didn't really have a period for like 2 years. Um, and I was okay with that. However, I knew it wasn't sustainable to be on birth control. I read the insert on that Depo-Provera. Those long-term side effects are serious, and you really shouldn't even take it for more than 2 years. Women can start developing bone density loss, osteoporosis, uterine cancer, all kinds of side effects so um, I told myself, if I'm going to use this, this is my opportunity to start healing myself. So that's when I got into the raw vegan foods and the meals and stuff like that. Um, so, I went from bleeding every day to not bleeding for a couple of years. And then my cycle actually really just came back November September or November of last year is when like it came back. I was at a baby shower, and then all of a sudden I was like, felt something, went to the bathroom, and was like, okay. I had to go to the Walmart or a CVS
Oh.
nearby. So yeah, so
And
that was when I was really,
when did you stop taking the birth control in relation to when
I
you
stopped.
got that period?
I didn't take it since January of last, was it January of last year? Because was self-inserting, I was doing the inserts myself. I'm trying to remember. I wasn't doing it consistently on their own schedule.
Right.
Actually, it was about a year. I'm lying. It was about a year from when I got it, from when I took um, the last injection.
The last pill. Oh, it was an
Yeah.
injection, not a pill. Okay.
Yeah, it's an injection. So it was about a year since I took it and from when I got it.
So you got it now, and
No, I don't
how's your
have it
cycle?
now.
Oh, you don't have
Oh, I have
it
my
again?
cycle. I have my cycle now. I thought you were talking about the depot.
Oh,
Um,
so the cycles, but they're better now.
yes. So, however, I can't would boldly say I feel like I have completely healed myself of endometriosis because I'm learning a lot about what triggers any longer. So I have a cycle every month and it stops. Let's put it there. It stops. However, I noticed that when I eat foods high in fats, like if I eat a lot of nuts and avocados and stuff like that,
Right.
it can trigger some of those old symptoms.
Okay.
So I can with confidence say that, I can eat whatever I want and not have anything triggered. However, my cycles, since I started having cycles, they come every month, they stop every month. They're about 5 days long. Only a couple of times did I have like some crazy cramping. I had one episode a few months ago. I was cramping and throwing up. It was like the old times. It scared the crap out of me, and that's when I cheated on how I was eating.
Okay.
I was fully raw for a few months, and then I was at work and I was hungry. There was a restaurant nearby, and I stopped there and I grabbed this vegan salad. And that vegan salad had tempeh on it. I think it was the tempeh because, oh my goodness, I had a violent reaction. It triggered my menstrual cycle. And it was a really bad menstrual cycle, and I was bleeding a lot.
The foods we eat, like, especially like, I would always have to stop eating like any kind of sugar or something like a week before when I had a regular cycle, when it was like coming every month and I knew, I would have to like stop eating certain things like the processed foods and certain things like a week before. Because if I was eating that stuff leading up to it, the cycle would just be even more horrific. I already had bad cycles every month, but like if the foods play a big part. So I'm glad you're honest about everything, like it did get better, but you find that when you eat certain foods, it can trigger the symptoms again. So as long as you eat,
it can trigger symptoms.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you're
what
eating
I noticed
raw,
though is
it helps.
When I'm 100% fruit, I have perfect cycles. Perfect. So even eating some cruciferous veggies and some fats trigger maybe some spotting afterwards or something. But when I only eat fruit, my body responds very well to fruit, which is why it just makes up the bulk of what I eat, because I might as well eat what my body is telling me to eat.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. Fruit is powerful. Fruit is very powerful and it's very healing. So, okay, talk to me about like what you would eat when you first went raw vegan, like your typical day of eating. And then I just kind of want to talk about like you're doing all these little challenges, some of them might be challenges, some of them you're just like, hey, I'm going to eat fruit for the summer or whatever. But before we get into that, talk to me about how your diet was when you first went raw vegan, like your typical day. Were you eating a lot of raw gourmet stuff or just simple things, straight up fruit and salads and things like that?
When I first started, definitely a lot of it was raw gourmet stuff. I had came into the Rawtarian. She had an app, and it was just like it was a $20 a month subscription, and you get access to like all of the recipes that she has, and then she has like a whole community of people that also share their recipes, and it's like a really dope app. I haven't been on there for a long time, but that is what I was using for my transition. So when I was transitioning, I was kind of on what the purest raw vegans would call raw vegan junk foods. Like, like what you had made, stuff like that, like the fudge brownies.
Yeah, I made some raw vegan Snickers.
Right. Like I was making a lot of stuff like that. But I was doing like cauliflower rice and a lot of cashew-based sauces and dressings, like cashew curries and, spiralized veggies, spiralized zucchini with marinara and raw tacos, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
That gourmet
Keep
stuff.
it interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You have to do it though. Just like how if you want to become vegan, you transition with the vegan meat
Right.
just to get off of
Yeah.
the meat,
Yeah.
the animal meat. It's like when you are trying to transition into raw vegan, having the more heavier, more tasty, more fun raw
Fun,
vegan
creative,
meals.
creative.
Yes, it helps you transition into the lifestyle. Because then, like, while you're immersed in the lifestyle, you're following the different personalities, you join all these online communities, you start learning, you understand food combining charts, you start to understand that you want to reduce the amount of fats and nuts and seeds that you're eating. You want to focus on the carbs. You want to get in those fruits. You want to get in those raw veggies. Like, you start learning as you go. And that's why, like, the importance of just starting is, like, high, because a lot of people always feel like they need to do all this research before they start something, to the point where they don't ever get started because they need to do it perfectly. But you need to just do it. You just need to start. You need to look up a recipe that you would look like you would enjoy eating, and then make it and just start there, because you can fail forward. You're going to learn as you continue on. But, if you try to come in it, trying to be perfect, I like the mono eating challenges and the fruit challenges and all that. Like, that's really good. But if you just want to just get started, you don't have to, like, press yourself, You can just, like, start where you are, look at something you would like to eat, look up recipes, try them and eat them. Don't feel like you have to be perfect. But, I learned as I got along. And now a lot of the gourmet stuff, I love making it mostly for pictures. But I love just eating me a big bowl of grapes. Like, I like simplicity.
Girl, me too. I hate that. Matter of fact, when I did that raw vegan class what was that, January, for 44 days, I was so proud of myself for even trying recipes, because I am the laziest Negro in the world when it comes to recipes and cooking and stuff like that, or not cooking. But I was trying different things. But I found that during that 44 days of raw, I enjoyed when I was just eating a bowl of tangerines, or a bowl of grapes, or some nice cream that I just blended some frozen fruit. It was just so much easier, faster and stuff. But it is nice to try the creative things. And I was so proud of my raw vegan Snickers I made, things like that. But yeah, simplicity is at its finest. It's just, sometimes it's just so much better. And I think it's better for you. But it is good, like she said, you guys, if you need to transition, you want to make the things that kind of imitate the cooked things, cooked meals and things like that. Do that if that's what you need to do. But for me, as for me in my house, I'm gonna stick to being lazy and just, keeping it simple. But yeah, like today for lunch, I just had the tangerines, because yesterday, as I mentioned, I had Chipotle, I had nachos at that vegan street fair. So I felt sodium full. I made up a word. When I just feel like I'm heavy from all that sodium, right? So today I just want freshness, right? So I had like tangerines for lunch, just a bowl of tangerines, y'all. How simple is that? And tonight I might have nice cream. I just throw in some frozen bananas and blueberries in my food processor, and just make it the consistency of ice cream, and that'll be my dinner, because today I just want freshness. But okay, back to you. Sorry. So great. I love the whole story, and just how it worked from changing your ways of eating, and then your symptoms getting better, and your body was healing. And so now you have a high raw lifestyle. So you just kind of go with what your body is wanting. Sometimes you might want more raw. Sometimes you might have a cooked meal. Sometimes you might, kind of mix it up. So right now, I know you did fruit for the summer. How long did you do that, and how did that go? Did you have any any good things happen? What's that word I'm looking for? Oh, benefits. Did you have any benefits or any extra healing take place that you didn't heal before, like when you were doing all fruit? Because that's a whole nother level when you go all fruit.
Right.
I just asked you
So
50 questions. Let me go back because that was a lot of questions. First, how long did you do all fruit for the summer?
so I don't know because I stopped counting after a little bit. I would like to say about it was 2 months, definitely around two
Mm-hmm.
months.
That's a
Um,
long time.
and those whole 2 months, I did not. I had like a week where I had cooked food. So I remember I made a post about it where I was like on like day 40 or something, and then I said like out of 40 of those days, 6 of them, I had eaten some cooked food. Um, but yeah, so I ate mostly fruit throughout the summer. I did, so I know that I definitely passed some parasites, mono eating, because I was doing some mono eating challenges on there. So I saw a couple of parasites floating in the
Okay,
toilet and
talk to me. Tell me, what does that look like? What does a parasite look like?
during the watermelon cleanse. So I did Bobby's watermelon washout, day 12. I had passed, you know, the little wormy. It was a really long. I it was a really long, thin
Ugh.
worm. Like it
It
was
was
just
it looks like a worm.
yeah. I've never seen anything like that come out of me. Never. I know that
What?
was definitely a parasite, and I've seen photos of other people's parasite photos. So that was good, but on its way out, I was having some crazy cramping and stomach pains and stuff. So
Oh,
maybe that was considered the die off. But when
wow.
it passed, I felt so good. Um,
Wow.
so that was a positive. And, obviously more waist loss, which means more weight loss. Not even weight loss I was looking for, but that's just what happens when you have any waste inside of you. You start eating these fruits and you're
Girl,
releasing it.
you don't need to
So,
lose no weight. You already got a snatched waist. No.
oh,
What
trust
else
me,
do you
I
want,
don't
girl?
want to. I do not want to. That's the biggest challenge with eating fruit is like that weight loss because it's like you battling your ego at that point because you know what you're doing for yourself is good, but it's hard having to deal with the comments of the people surrounding you when you go to work, people passing comments, oh yeah, you're getting a little too skinny. Yeah, it's like no
Mm.
shit. I'm sorry. But yeah, so you're just having to deal with outsiders who don't understand what's going on, putting their 2 cents in, looking at me
Yeah.
like I have an eating disorder or
What's
something
wrong
like
with
that.
you?
Right. Like,
Just,
why don't you just
be
eat?
like,
And,
I'm cleansing. Something you need to do. Why don't you try it? No.
oh, yeah.
Just like
The
Bobby,
ones,
everybody's ridiculing Bobby because he got, lost a lot of weight and stuff. It's just like, it's a cleanse, y'all. It's called, sometimes people are going on healing journeys. Like, it's just like if somebody does a juice cleanse because they need to heal something and they get hecka small, that comes with it. But, once they start eating again and getting their normal routine back, they'll gain it back, just unless they trying to stay that small. But I mean, like, it's all part of the healing journey. So how
yeah.
much, remember this question about weight loss. I'm gonna come back to that. But so the other question was, after doing all fruit, did you have any benefits during that time?
Um, I mean, cleansing parasites. My skin is still purging. Um, I mean,
Haters.
nothing that I wasn't already experiencing because I've always been high fruit anyways.
Yeah,
But I just wanted to just like double down. So if anything, just more cleansing. But I
yeah.
can't tell you. I mean, definitely more mental clarity.
Hmm.
My energy levels stay high.
Hmm.
Um, so I can't say anything spectacular happened outside of all the spectacularness I was already experiencing because
Yeah,
this is
because
my
you're already,
lifestyle.
yeah, you had already,
Yeah.
like, you was already on that level. So this was just maintaining what you already had been dealing with. So that's good. I wanted to go back to, okay, I saw the before and after pictures. Okay, work it, girl, work it. Okay, so before you even became vegan, plant-based, how much were you weighing? And then how much did you lose initially? Um, and then how are you maintaining it?
Um, So when I had first started my health journey, like I was like around 190 pounds. That was like
And how tall are you?
2019.
How tall are you?
5'3".
Okay.
I'm 5'3", so I'm short. So like my highest was 190, but my plant-based journey didn't really start until a year after like my high, because I started, like I said, transition into more uh, vegan options, you know, the not eating a lot of meat. So not eating like animal meat and replacing it with the faux meats and faux cheeses and stuff like that, that helped me lose some weight. So I lost about 10 pounds from that. So, but when I started my health journey officially, I was like around 183 pounds, something like that. So that was like my high when I started eating raw. And then once I started the 2020, I did another 30-day challenge, Orville's challenge, and I lost like 30 pounds in that month, a pound a day doing all fruit in Orville Douglas' challenge. So that's when I lost like most of my weight, the bulk of it, and it was in a very short period of time. And then after that, I just stayed like eating raw vegan, and incorporating more fruits since I like found the power of fruits after that challenge. I'm like, oh wow, like energy levels are up, lost a ton of weight, you know, just feeling good. My symptoms dramatically reducing, anxiety going away. So that challenge basically opened my eyes on the power of fruits, and that's when I became more intentional about eating more fruits. Because before that, I was eating a lot more vegetables, because you know how we have this misconception in the health world where we assume that veggies are more healthy than anything that you could possibly eat. Like fruits are like considered a snack to the average person.
Right.
You know, it's not really considered something that you would consume as a meal. So when I started looking at fruit as a meal, that's when my life changed, because that's when I started seeing the most results.
That's what's up.
But yeah, like at this point, I don't even weigh myself anymore. Last time I checked, I was 116 pounds.
Dang, for real? 116?
Yeah.
Dang, I'm 5'5". I haven't seen 116 since I was like in 8th grade. You tiny, girl.
I'm at my high school weight. I used to be a size 0 when I was in high school. I've always been thin most of my life. I've always been called skinny mini. I've always been the butt of the joke about being so skinny. But that's just, and I used to eat a lot. And I was eating pizzas.
How'd you get to 190?
The Depo shot. So after I had that surgery, that Depo-Provera put 40 pounds on me in 2 months.
Oh, hell to the no, to the no. Are you serious? See that, and that's exactly because I told you I suffered with menstrual all my life, and the doctors always wanted to put me on them birth control pills, and that was the one reason I was scared to do it, because of weight gain, and then other symptoms and stuff like that. And even now that I'm about to be approaching, I'm perimenopausal. Like I know they're going to throw them HRTs, which is hormone therapy. I'm scared. You know, I'm scared. Okay, so you lost 30 pounds in 2020, and you have been maintaining it for the last 3 years or so. That's amazing. That you have maintained it that long. That's a long time. That's good for you. And you keep losing more and more, because you down to 116, girl. Tiny little tot.
Yeah. My ideal weight is like 125, so I'm starting to get more physical exercise and building more muscle, because I know once I build muscle, I'll be a little bit more fit and defined. But I mean, I love how I look. I'm generally in shape. I don't look bad. I love wearing dresses. I look good in dresses.
You look great.
So, thank you, and as do you. I want to look like you.
Oh,
yes,
girl. Don't be making me blush.
Keep being the plant-based example of. I said, keep being the plant-based example of how beautifully anyone can age. They take care of themselves.
Y'all, I'm going on 49 in 3 months. Nah, thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Ooh, when I just said, every time I say that number, it just trips me out. I'm like 49, and which means I'm gonna be 50 next year. Okay, you know what? No, but anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. So what are you eating now? Your fruit challenge or your fruit for the summer? I think you stopped. Now you're back to kind of like eating raw again, right? It's a good balance for you. You like it to be able to incorporate
variety.
Yeah.
Variety keeps me a raw vegan.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about doing the mono eating challenges, I always ended up breaking the challenge on cooked food. Like instead of eating like a salad, I would be looking at eyeing the pasta that's sitting in the pantry. You know, like so. I go to like. For me, extremes lead to extremes on the opposite end. So I would much rather just stick to a variety-based, plant-based, high fruit, fruit-based lifestyle. Because I love fruit. When I get up, I already know I'm having fruit. Whether it's a big bowl of grapes, whether it's some watermelon, whatever it is that's in season. And I have in my refrigerator, I know that fruit is it. I'm drinking my juices. I'm having my smoothies, period. Like, non-negotiable.
So freeing, so refreshing. It makes you feel good on the inside. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy P said you both look beautiful.
Yep.
Thank you. Let me go read
That's Stacy Rickman Patrick. She's like on her 80th something day eating all watermelon too.
Ooh, child. Oh, first, let me give a shout out to Stacy. Shout out to Fruit Up 13, Bobby Smith. Shout out to Kev Ramon and all the others who have been eating the same thing every day for up 100 plus 100. Bobby's on like 105, day 105 or something like that. I got to give a shout out and some serious props because I personally love me some fruit, but I don't know if I could do the same fruit for that long. I freaking love me some watermelon, but like after I've done it like 2 days at the most. And I was just like, oh, I'm over it. So, to be able to eat the same thing not just all fruit, but one fruit for, and I think at the last, 20 days, he incorporated other melons as well, but still before the melons came into play, he was eating all watermelon for like 80, 90 days. So that's like dope. And for those of you who are not aware, Bobby Smith has a Fruit Up group on Facebook, which I'm a part of, and Lashay is also a part of. And he is trending, okay? Bobby is blowing up, okay? Bobby is blowing up. He's been interviewed. He's had an article written on him. He is, I'm going to bet you, and I want $50 if I win this bet, Bobby, that Dr. Phil going to be calling you soon, but he going to call you on a different note. He going to call you, try to put you on Front Street and try to throw you under the bus. You just come prepared and just put him in his place. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. But anyway, back to you, Lashay. Weight loss, healing, right now you found your niche, which is eating raw, variety, mostly fruit, but still other things like greens and stuff like that. I'm glad you found a niche because I feel like it's good for us to find the balance in our ways of living so that we can stick to it. For me, I like high raw because I eat a lot of raw foods, but if I want to be bad, I call it being naughty. Like yesterday, had my nachos at the fair, and then I had some Chipotle because I was out and about. But guess what? Today, I'm back to what makes me feel my best, right? Eating high raw, mostly raw. Actually, today I'm pretty much doing all raw, except for I did have a potato. But anyway, Bobby said he's ready. Okay, question. There was a question. Bobby is going to be famous. Yep, he already famous. He already in the vegan community. He's definitely famous. And then he going to be, yep. Okay, I'm scrolling up to find. You guys put your questions in the box because when it's hard to try to scroll up. This thing be doing something weird when I try to scroll up. There was a question about and Supreme thought you were 5'10". Somebody said step by step of Hewitt. or no, Supreme, no, who said that? Supreme Bright Other or something. So I thought you were 5'10". Somebody wants to know step by step, please step by step of the cleanse.
What cleanse?
I don't know. We'll skip that one. Be specific, somebody. Nene said, what is your exercise routine?
My exercise routine? My exercise routine is to get up and exercise because, you know, it's hard for me to just do it. So I'm in the habit of just moving my body for 10 minutes intentionally when I get up, just to get my brain moved into this new rewiring, this new habit of getting up and moving myself. So I do stretches for like 10 minutes, but the way I work out at this point is just to keep myself moving is walking. Like I just moved into a new neighborhood and it's super walkable. It's in like little trendy part of town. So I like to just pretty much walk the whole corridor of a couple miles. Yeah. And that's my easy way of getting my exercise.
So you currently aren't like lifting weights and stuff or a resistance training?
I do squats and I do like push-ups. I want to do more calisthenics than being in the gym pumping iron. Yeah. So I like to watch like YouTube videos and just like follow those.
Yeah. And that's good. You know, as long as you're moving, you guys, you don't have to be in the gym lifting weights. I actually just joined the gym for the first time in 4 years. But for those 4 years, I was working out at home. I do lift weights and stuff, but there's times where I do just like resistance bands or just body weight stuff. So you guys, just encourage you all to make sure you are moving daily, whether it be walking, riding your bike, skating, doing a dance video in your room on YouTube, doing some body weight exercises or resistance bands. Make sure you guys do that because that's important for your health as well, not just diet. We need to also be moving our bodies. Okay, you guys, this is very, very important, especially as you get old like me. No, you got to get it right now. Don't wait. Okay, don't wait. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. So get off your butt. For those who've been sitting there what they calling couch, what's that word? Never mind. Whoever, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all be sitting on your butts all the time. Get up and move your body. All right. Supreme Bright Other said, how do you balance your work life and prioritize eating the way you do?
I work so I'm a real estate agent. I work a lot from home, so I can always be not always, but when I'm working from home, I can be close to my kitchen. So that makes it a little bit easy for me. However, when I'm working, I prep my fruit and I just eat fruit. I keep it simple. So I just like have a big Pyrex bowl full of watermelon pre-cut or a big Pyrex bowl full of grapes. Whatever I'm eating, oranges, I just make sure that I have a big bowl of it already pre-cut, ready to go, and it sits in the passenger side of my car. And when I get hungry, it's right there for me to snack on, pick on, eat on. You know, like I will eat one good time as a meal until I'm satiated, but I always make sure I prepare enough that's going to be more than what I would want to eat at that time, so that when it sits next to me and I'm on the road, it's just right there and I grab for it, not allowing myself to get hungry to where I give into any kind of temptation or just be like tempted in any way, shape, or form. So just I stay prepared with fruit and I keep it right next to me. And that's easy. It's actually easier to do that than going out and ordering food. You still have to order the food. You have to go pick it up. You have to wait for it or have it delivered to you. You pay for it and all of that. For me, it's easier and cheaper to just have big thing of, because I like to mono eat. It's simpler. It's better for digestion. And when you eat a lot of fruit, you're really not hungry like that. Honestly, like I found myself like being completely satisfied off of like one big fruit meal. And if I get hungry, I'll have some maintenance bites and I'll be good. And then I could really sit here and think to myself, like, wow, I really don't need to eat anything else today. Like, I feel fine. And if I feel like I need something extra and it's a little bit later in the day, I'll make a smoothie.
Does that work for you when you're like going, like, for me, that it works sometimes if I prepare before I'm going somewhere out and about, but then sometimes my hunger is different when I'm out and about. Like yesterday, for example, like if I would have just been at home yesterday, I would have been satisfied after I ate so much food, right? But my hunger, I don't know if it's because I'm out and about, I'm moving, my brain is working more. I don't know what it is, but like my hunger gets so much where it's like I'm eating and it's just I'm not getting satiated. So like that little method doesn't work for me all the time. Like if I like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna eat a bowl of tangerines before I go to his concert. Like if I ate those tangerines, I would be satisfied. But then once I get to the concert, I get hungry again. But if I was at home, if I would have stayed home, I would have been fine with that bowl of tangerines. Do you go out, like ever go to events and things like that, and your hunger is different, or you still stay sustained with things like that? Like if you go to a concert or something, or out to a live jazz band or something like that. I don't know. My hunger be doing some weird stuff. I don't know if it's because
I literally will bring the fruit with me. Like I will make sure I just have like a nice big bag, a big Ziploc bag full of pineapples, and then I'll have it in my purse. And if I'm hungry, I just take my fork, then I'll have a little plastic fork, and I'm just snacking on my little pineapples. Like,
yeah, damn, that sounds good. That sounds heckin' good right now. Okay, I got you. So I think I'm just a pig. No, I'm just kidding. No, my hunger be doing some weird stuff. But yeah, but normally there's so many times where I am able to prepare like that, and it works. And then there's some days where it's just, I don't know, I don't be feeling satiated. But there are a lot of times where it does work. So tell me, like, what did you eat today? What did you eat today? I want to know what you ate today. Everything.
So today I made a kale salad like 2 days ago. And it's a big kale salad, pretty much just so I have 3-4 days to eat it. So I had a kale salad. For lunch, I had some ice cream, and I had a slushie that I made that was so freaking good. It had pineapple honeydew juice, frozen wild mixed berries, and grapes. And it tasted like a cherry slush. Now, do you remember those Hush Puppies they used to sell with the dog at the 7-Eleven? Yes. It tasted just like one of those cherry ones that I used to get when I was a kid. It was so good.
That sounds yummy. And it sounds refreshing, everything you ate today.
Yeah, so I had the kale salad, I had the slushie, and I had an ice cream. And I did have a few bites of pineapple as well.
Yummy. That sounds so yum and refreshed. It's like, we'll eat things that that don't make us feel our best. I think it's pleasing to the tongue, but it doesn't make us feel good mentally or physically, at least for me. That's my experience. But when we eat fresh and clean and good and whole foods, it's good to the tongue, but it's also good, makes us feel good mentally and physically. So it's like, why don't we just cater to that all the time? I don't know.
I think
the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie.
It's addiction. That food is that stuff ain't even food. It's like, if Ramon would say, it's drugs. Drugs formulated to taste stimulating. But really that's all it is. It's food-like products, and that's why it's managed by the FDA. That's why they regulate how much of the poison and the drugs they can put inside of the so-called Food and Drug Administration. Administrating the drugs that they put in your food, and that's all that is. It's just we're addicted to it.
Yeah. Hey, so after you finish the fruit, because I know for myself, this is why I'm hesitant to do the challenges. And although I did join the Fruit Up Till 5 challenge, I'm not going to be doing it 100% because I'm scared of what will happen when it's over. But I wanted to join it because I just wanted to be a part of the group and just be accountable to stay eating the way I know that is best for me. But I might not be like 100% to the T with it. I mean, I might have, because I'm gonna still eat my regular breakfast, which is half fruit, but it's also some yogurt. But then I might have fruit for lunch, and then I know it's up until 5. Then you can eat your whole food meal for dinner. But anyway, what was my point? Oh, challenges make me go crazy when it's over. So that's why I don't like the word challenge, and I don't like to say that to myself, because when it's over, then you're like, oh, it's over. Now I can eat da 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 da. And then you taste it, it triggers you, and then you go crazy. So my question to you is, after you ate the 2 months of all fruit, what happened after? Did you go like, oh my God, did you go crazy for a minute and for a week or two and just go crazy on junk food or anything like that? Or were you able to just transition back to your raw foods all just willy-nilly?
I didn't go crazy, but I did eat some cooked food, and it was really because there was an Indian restaurant that's right under the apartment building that I live in. So I live like in a residential mixed commercial, and the first level is leased out by this fine dining Indian restaurant, and they just had their grand opening, and all you can smell is curry and the aroma, and I love Indian food. So after I was done, I still had my regular all fruits, during the day, but I got tempted towards the evening, and I ended up having some Indian food, and it was just rice, and it was like a curry veggie. It wasn't anything that I felt guilty about eating. No. That
sounds like you just ate a cooked meal and that was that. But you didn't go to junk food and just go crazy or anything like that. It didn't make you
No.
Because it always throws me off. It throws my something off after I do a quote unquote challenge or some type of a cleanse or something. It just, and then it takes me a minute
to me.
It takes me a minute to get back on track, and I don't like that. I feel like I don't have control or something. I'm like, what is wrong with you, girl? So that's why I'm scared to do the challenge with you guys fully. I'd rather just let me just eat, high, raw, clean, a lot of fruit during the day, but not specifically all fruit, but just a lot of fruit during the day, and then my salad or a nice healthy cooked meal, vegan cooked meal for dinner. But I don't want to do it 100% because I don't want to go crazy at the end. But I do want to still be in the group because I want the just accountability and just to vibe with y'all and connect and everything. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna bring it to a close. We're at an hour. You guys have any last minute questions? Throw it in the question box if so. Lashay, I really enjoyed your story. Thank you. It was very inspiring. I'm inspired every week by my guests because everybody has a different story. Everybody has different healing that took place. Everybody, might have lost weight, and it's just a reminder, and just it helps me stay on point because I am nowhere near perfect. I do eat a plant-based diet, vegan diet, and I would say that I'm 80-90% eating healthy whole foods, but then I do have my little treats and stuff because it's a good balance for me. But sometimes I might even go off of that, and go a little crazy. But it helps me by hearing y'all stories, helps me to stay on point. So thank you for sharing and coming on here. And I hope everyone was inspired today to eat better, to do better, to take care of your health. Eat those foods that are only going to make you feel good, and exercise. Thank you, everyone that is in here. Some came and went, but I'm going to give a shout out to Azure, Camellia, T Vegan, Nene, Chantel, Lenny, Cameron, Colita, and Anthony. And Fruit Up 13 was here, but he's gone. Thank you, Azure. She said, great interview. Thank you all. You guys, up next. Oh, actually, next week, you guys, I'm taking a break from Plant-Based with Nicole. I will be back in 2 weeks with Marvin Alred, who is from the Fruit Up with Bobby Smith group. I saw some of his posts and I was like, oh, I want to interview him. So I'll be interviewing him. I don't know if he's fully raw, high raw, or what his deal is, but he does eat a lot of fruit. That's all I know. So I'll be interviewing him in 2 weeks. You guys make sure you come back. Lashay, thank you so much, love. And I'll see you on the gram. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, everybody. Huh?
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. God bless you.
Love
Bye, everybody.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Mwah! Bye, everybody. God bless everybody.